Right now at noon, a one-of-a-kind homecoming. Joplin first responders welcome back 11-year-old girl from her cancer treatment.
And it is going to be warm and windy across the area. We'll have a look at that forecast and those storm chances coming up.
Plus, restoring Shoal Creek. Volunteers with Wildcat Glades look to preserve the area and its native species.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Well, new at noon today, Joplin first responders joined together for a special homecoming. Jada, an 11-year-old from Joplin, returned home yesterday from a 4-month-long stay in Memphis, Tennessee, battling leukemia at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Now, Joplin Fire, Police, and EMS traveled up Range Line with Jada as she made her way to her residence, meeting well-wishers along the way. Jada's mother says they missed Thanksgiving and Christmas and a birthday along her road to recovery, but it's wonderful, and Jada is coming home after 103 days. You can keep up with Jada and learn more about her story on the Facebook group Fighting with Jada. Now let's head over to Chris Warner for first weather.
Yeah, we've got those warm temperatures, very windy out there as well, and clouds continuing to increase. A look from earlier this morning, downtown Pittsburgh, those clouds already increasing across the region. MoDOT camera 32nd and Range Line. Looking back to the west, I show you that same view, and of course those clouds continue to thicken up out there. We also have that high wind watch for the bulk of southeast Kansas through Wednesday a.m., and if we get to that point of this being a high wind warning, we're talking the possibility of wind gusts, non-thunderstorm wind gusts, upwards of 60 miles an hour, and sustained winds of 20 to 40 miles an hour. So it could be a serious situation outside of any thunderstorm chances as we head into the next couple of days. Yesterday started right where we should be. Doesn't happen often, but it did, and made it up to 62. So not significantly above normal, but still a little bit on the warm side. Not too bad. Our temperature trend Wednesday, so you can see we're going to drop below normal. Otherwise, not looking too bad the next few days. And of course, we have those thunderstorm chances as we head into tomorrow. For the rest of this evening, mostly cloudy to cloudy skies. Temperatures kind of level out. Winds remain gusty out of the south, pushing 30 to 40 miles an hour. After midnight, shower and thunderstorm chances begin to increase, and some of those could be strong to severe. We're going to have a full look at your forecast, break down those storm chances, and talk about the possibility of, snow on the backside of this here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, this morning, many Carthage residents woke up to no power. At around 4 a.m. today, CWEP informed Carthage residents that they were experiencing a power outage within the Southwestern Power Administrators, or CPA's, transmission system. And just before 7 a.m. this morning, CWEP announced that all power had been restored by SPA to their system. However, they followed up that announcement by saying, in part, quote, due to the outage, they were still seeing some meters on our system that were affected, and those customers may still be without power. Now, if you are still without power, CWEP encourages residents to give them a call. And with spring on the horizon, that means severe weather season is, of course, on the way. The Better Business Bureau is recommending homeowners use caution if they've been offered free roof inspections after a storm. Now, the BBB says some companies may make rounds in neighborhoods performing roof inspections following a storm, but scammers use the opportunity to take advantage of people. Now, the BBB has some advice on how to avoid roofing inspection scams. They say beware of unsolicited offers, research companies before you hire, and look for the BBB seal. We have a full list of tips and more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Jasper and Newton County residents, Missouri Senator Jill Carter wants to hear your concerns about your Liberty Utilities bill. This Friday, Missouri Southern is hosting a town hall with Carter. The town hall will begin at 6:30 p.m. at the MSSU's Justice Center. Now, representatives from Liberty Utilities and the Office of the Public Counsel are expected to attend. Residents are encouraged to bring their Liberty Utilities bill. Now, this comes as the state of Missouri launched an investigation into Liberty Utilities operations in the state following a series of inquiries, complaints, and comments from customers about Liberty's billing and customer service. You can read the latest on the investigation on KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, some business and restaurant owners in Ozark, Missouri are complaining about a new service fee on their utility bills for fat, oil, and grease traps starting in April. Now, grease can accumulate in sewer lines, leading to blockages, and grease traps catch those oils and keep them from entering the sewer system. Now, according to a letter sent to businesses by the city, the service fee will support regular inspections to ensure grease traps are functioning properly. However, some business owners say they already pay to maintain the traps on their own. Wildcat Glades in Joplin is working on its Shoal Creek restoration project. Workers removed invasive plant species in hopes to make room for native plants. Officials say native plants help feed native wildlife, and the native plants also prevent soil erosion, helping to improve the water quality of Shoal Creek.
It is a large area, and it needs a lot of hands on it to get all this stuff cleared out, since we're having to do it by hand. And we wanted to give the community the opportunity to contribute.
Now, 5 volunteers showed up to restore the habitats. Well, President Trump is expected to meet with his national security team this afternoon to discuss next steps on Ukraine following Friday's explosive White House meeting with the Ukrainian president that was supposed to take a step toward ending the war with Russia. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Days after the Oval Office clash, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signaled he believes the relationship can be saved, saying it's bigger than one moment.
It's really confounding to us why we had kind of such hostility coming into the room.
Administration officials are echoing President Trump's Friday comments about what's needed to restart talks with Ukraine.
He's got to say, I want to make peace. He doesn't have to stand there and say about Putin this, Putin that, all negative things.
While Zelensky left the White House Friday without signing the Earth Minerals deal, the Trump administration hasn't completely closed the door on an agreement.
We have to see if President Zelensky wants to proceed. What's the use in having an economic agreement that's going to be rendered moot if he wants the fighting to continue?
European leaders welcomed Zelensky this weekend at a summit to talk about Ukraine's defense and outlined what they believe are steps toward peace, including continued military aid to Ukraine and economic pressure on Russia. Peace talks that must include Ukraine and arming Ukraine to deter future invasion. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said he also spoke to President Trump on Saturday.
Let me be clear. We agree with the president on the urgent need for a durable peace.
Starmer said he, Zelensky, and French President Emmanuel Macron have agreed to work on a plan to stop fighting and then take it to the United States. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
As the fallout to Friday's meeting continues, multiple U.S. officials tell CBS News that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has directed U.S. Cyber Command to pause all planning against Russia, including a cyber offensive. Well, coming up, Girl Scouts step into the world of STEM at PSU. And later, we're making beefed up split pea soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Local Girl Scouts were invited to the Crossland Technology Center at PSU to learn more about STEM and construction careers. KOAM's Mitch Adams has more.
Honestly, it makes me really excited. I get goosebumps coming and doing this every year. And I know that if I was a young girl like they are and I had this, I would love it.
Area Girl Scouts gathered at the Crossland Technology Center to kick off Women in Construction Week. The Scouts had a hands-on opportunity to learn about different career fields in science, technology, math, and engineering.
If you're artistic or if you love math or anything, there's a spot for you in construction, from scheduling to being out in the field every day to being an architect. We have a spot for everyone, and I think every young girl getting experience on it now will just make picking a career later on just that much better.
Stations in construction, plastics engineering, and manufacturing let the girls build birdhouses and try casting metals and plastics.
Well, it's not often that you get this type of hands-on experience to see these different type of careers that they might want to follow one day. So I think it's great for them to be able to see different types of careers in that type of STEM field.
This event exposes new career opportunities to young girls who may not have had a chance to learn about them before.
It's exciting and a little bit scary to watch them using a nail gun, but it was definitely exciting, and seeing things that I might not as a leader have actually been able to, get them to do, so they're getting these hands-on experience, so it's super exciting.
In Pittsburgh, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Soup's on in the test kitchen, and we can't wait to share this hearty one-pot favorite with you.
And we're tracking thunderstorm chances as we head into tomorrow morning. Some could be strong to severe. I'll look at that forecast right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So hopefully you are holding on to your hat, or perhaps your hair is set in such a way the wind won't be such a concern, because it is going to be breezing. It's not just today, it's tonight, it's tomorrow night, it's all the way into Wednesday as well. So some very windy days ahead of us. We also have those thunderstorms to talk about. Let's start though. Quick look outside from earlier this morning, downtown Pittsburgh. You can see those clouds were increasing, thickening up pretty quickly out there. And that works to our advantage, at least in terms of tonight. We're going to be a little milder this evening. Now that also leads into the next problem we have. So here's a breakdown for what we're expecting tonight. So we're talking after midnight. We do have a low tornado threat. It's confined and it is low. Unfortunately, it's not zero, but at least it's low. It's not any higher than that. Same with our hail risk. It's over a broader area, but it is still in the low category overnight tonight. We do have that low to elevated wind risk. So those gusty winds are going to also play a part in the possibility of some damaging winds that could come from these storms overnight tonight. Now, with that said, this will update a little later this afternoon, but for tomorrow, this is what we're looking at. We have a low risk. So again, the day one goes all the way through about 2 a.m. tomorrow. So that's why, even though we're not expecting storms during the daytime hours today, it's going to be after midnight. After midnight, those storms have that low to elevated risk. Now tomorrow, again, this won't update for another hour or so. So we're going to have to wait until the KOAM News at 5, 6, 9, 10 to see what changes take place. But I'd be willing to bet we're going to see an increase with maybe a bit of an elevated risk across parts of the area, because this will take effect by 2 a.m. tomorrow. And that'll be accommodating the thunderstorms that you're going to see here as we go into tomorrow morning. So again, the rest of today, just cloudy and breezy and mild. Temperatures a bit above normal for most of us. And I do believe that the future track here is about 2 hours slow. And what I mean by that is I believe that the storm timing on here is actually going to be 2 hours earlier than what the future track is currently thinking. This is based on a number of things. This could change, but just at this point, so let's say this is really about 1 a.m. We start to see these storms rolling in. Yates Center, just outside of Fredonia, back through Howard and Sedan. We go to about 3 a.m., and then we see this line now from outside of Chanute, in between here and here, down through Parsons, Coffeyville, Independence, Bartlesville, and Newata. And we have these storms rolling through, and this line continues. And here we are, let's say 6 a.m. You see that bowing that took place right through here as it raced through. That's why the damaging winds are a concern, and that's why that went to an elevated risk for the damaging winds, and that's why I do believe that we may see an elevated risk added outside of that zone for the rest of tomorrow morning, because I think we're still looking at a damaging wind risk with this line of storms as it rolls through the area. Now, the bulk of this will start to wrap up by about noon. In fact, look back to the west, might even get some clearing to take place. Still very windy tomorrow. But you see that spin? The wind's being pulled up. We have a low pressure system that's almost going to ride the I-70 corridor. And as it continues to track off to the east, two things are going to happen. First, we could see additional scattered shower and thunderstorm development. We're not anticipating severe weather with the afternoon and evening storms, but a strong storm may be possible, but it's not very likely. The better chances for stronger storms are going to be in the morning. And this will start to roll through. And as it does, that low pressure moves. We see winds out of the northwest gusting. Temperatures begin to drop, and we could get a brief transition to some light snow or a light wintry mix from late Tuesday night into very early Wednesday morning before that clears out. So we're not expecting anything major in terms of accumulations, but still could see some light snow and some slick spots as we start our Wednesday, and our Wednesday much colder out there as well. Temperatures below average, only into the 40s. So again, today, low mid-60s for those highs, low mid-60s tomorrow, 50s tonight, 30s tomorrow night, 20s Wednesday night with highs about the mid-40s, but that little taste of winter, thankfully, is short-lived as we'll start warming back up Thursday. It's got some beautiful weather as we head into the upcoming weekend. Elise?
Well, stick around. We're making beefed up split pea soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, this from scratch soup is comfort food at its best. Today, Howard's making beefed up split pea soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You know, nothing seems to be more comforting this time of year than a steaming bowl of soup. And when it's homemade, all the better. So today, I want to share our from scratch split pea soup that is so good and so easy, you're going to want to make this over and over again. We start by sauteing a pound or so of stew meat in a bit of vegetable oil. Once it's browned on all sides, we add some cut up potatoes to the same pot, along with the trifecta of veggies. You know, carrots, celery, and onions. Now we add a good amount of chicken broth, our split peas, and a bit of salt and pepper. And in case you're wondering, split peas are simply regular peas that have been removed from their pods, dried, and split in half. Once this comes to a boil, we'll turn it down so it can simmer till everything is tender. You know, the nice thing about this is we can customize it by using short ribs or flank steak instead of the stew meat, or replacing the chicken broth with beef broth. No matter which way you go, when you dish this up and top it with some crispy, crunchy croutons, get ready for comfort at its best. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for both our easy beefed up split pea soup and some of the best croutons you've ever had. It's so warm and satisfying, there's a pretty good chance it's going to become a year-round favorite. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a comforting way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find the recipe on KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
Breezy and mild again today. Scattered thunderstorms, some strong to severe, begin rolling in after midnight tonight. We'll get a little pause. More thunderstorms by tomorrow afternoon, transitioning possibly into a light snow or light wintry mix late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Temperatures much colder, still breezy on Wednesday. I will start warming up by Thursday.
All right, certainly a lot to keep an eye out for.
You bet.
All right, what do you have for us later on, Dale?
Lots coming up at 5. For starters, it's been the worst flu season in 15 years, according to the CDC. We're going to take a look at how the flu can impact children, specifically their brains. Plus, a wastewater expansion project is underway in Pittsburgh, and the city of Coffeyville, Kansas is hoping to revitalize the city's historic downtown with the help of a grant program. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
All right. Thank you, Dale. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.